everyone. Hello. Welcome to the exclusive interview with Dr. Gwen Bowen. We are excited because we're here with a special announcement. I am Jessica. I am the interviewer today, and I am super excited to have you join us for this exclusive interview that is sponsored by Elite Publications. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. And Elite Publications wants to help you get your story out. Schedule a consultation with Elite Publications by going to their website, www.elitepublications.org. Today we have Dr. Gwen Bowen, the author of Living the Life of a Virtuous Woman When God Speaks. She helps her to tell the story and the stories of other co-authors that's in the book. We're super excited because today is the official day of our online release. And we are releasing the Kindle version for just 99 cents. So go ahead and click on the link that's in the caption, or go ahead and type it in right now. It's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And we want you to get excited with us as we talk with Dr. Gwen and spend some time with her learning more about the book. Go ahead and purchase your Kindle copy for just 99 cents. So, Dr. Gwen, before we get started, first, let me just say congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. This is your fifth book.
My fifth book.
All right, you're a veteran.
Say so.
You're a veteran. So tell us a little bit about yourself besides your fifth book is released or releasing. And also you are an international best-selling author. So
Wow.
Besides that, what should we know about Dr. Gwen Bowen?
Just let me say, to God be the glory.
To God be the glory.
I have to get that in. To God be the glory. I am Pastor Dr. Gwen Bowen. I am pastor of the Greater Vision Christian Church here in Greenville. I am just so excited because never thought that I would be an author. Yeah. And now, my fifth book is coming out. My God. Yeah. God is so good. He's just awesome. Just goes to show you that you put the time, the work in, and trust God, and He will just move you forward. So I'm excited. I am married to none other than Minister Hanshi, all of that good stuff.
Yes.
Jessica Bowen. He is my backbone, and but I also have a daughter who's sitting here.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Hello, that's me.
That God has blessed me with, and she's the other half of my backbone, and so I can't go wrong because I have both of them supporting me, and most of all, God, who supports me at all times, through it all. And so here I am. I'm also a retired educator for 32 plus years. Taught from Nash Rocky Mount to Cumberland County, back to Nash Rocky Mount to Edgecombe County, Pitt County, and then I retired from Edgecombe County. So went back home. So it's life is good. What can I say?
Retired. Life must be good.
Yes.
I aspire to get there. So do you feel that as a teacher, that kind of set you up to help you write in the future?
Of course, because not just the experiences, but the experience of having great English teachers. I love my English teacher is still living. None other than Gwendolyn Whitaker's Barnes out of Rocky Mount now, and she taught us well, and we had to not only write well, but we had to speak well, and so kudos to you, teacher. I love you, girl. You did well.
Absolutely, we thank Miss Gwendolyn for her assistance with shaping you up for this time. Teachers are important. So if you're watching, you're a teacher. We thank you for all that you've done. If you're just tuning in, this is an exclusive interview. We are celebrating the launch, the Kindle launch of Living the Life of a Virtuous Woman. So we are interviewing the author, and we're going to get on into it. We have some more questions for her. So sit tight. Our next question would be, what inspired you to write this book?
Oh, wow. You know, this year I turned 66 years of age. And coming into the new year, you know, I just sat down and I started to think about how good God had been to me and all of the blessings. And going through those blessings, I couldn't help but think of my mom. You know, she was to me the Proverbs 31 woman. And I feel like she was to so many others because she strove in everything that she did to be the best that she could be and to show others that they could be the better person of themselves. And so she was one of integrity. She was one who strove to make sure that home was taken care of, that the church was taken care of, that her friends and neighbors were taken care of, you know. And so I just started thinking, you know, not only about her, but about other women who had impacted my life in such a positive way. You know, like Mother, oh gosh, Ernestine Barnes, uh, uh, Mother Adela Sherrod. You know, those were her friends. And when I looked at that, I saw how she had within her circle those women who were striving to do the same, you know, to live that life. But not only, they weren't just doing it for their family, but for everyone in the community. People looked up to them. Everybody in the community looked up to them and respected them, you know. And my mama, you know, she had to say, and she would say to us, you know, my mama was something else. She said we would be going out to a game when they would allow us to, or just leaving the house. And she would say to us, remember, a man can do whatever he wants to do. And when he wakes up in the morning, he will still be referred to as Mr. But you as a woman, a young lady, whatever you do, make sure that it represents you well. Because if not, when you wake up in the morning, you will be called some of the most derogatory names that you could ever think of, by male and female. You know, and so that stuck with me.
Yeah.
That stuck with me, and I wish we had more mothers within the church body like we had in the past, because they taught us well. They taught us so well. So that was what inspired me. Just not only my mother, but also those other ladies within the community who had such a great impact on my life.
Well, the great thing about it is that, you know, you leave this book as a legacy.
Oh, wow.
So for young ladies that are going through and wondering, what can I do, you know, to be a virtuous woman or a better woman in general, you talk about it a lot in this book, as well as the co-authors. We'll get to them in a second. But if I can just read a little bit of the introduction, and you guys please pick up the book. I'm just going to read a little bit. It says, not only her teachings and modeling, but for those of other Christian women throughout my life, she as in her mom, as I've grown in grace and spiritual maturity with Christ, I've learned that a victorious woman is strong and dignified. She is a woman of character and integrity. And yes, we draw our strength from the Lord, so we might not be afraid. Afraid not of who we are, nor whose we are. We have to be aware that eyes and ears are always upon us. Therefore, we must be clothed in beauty, both inner and outer, because when we are beautiful at heart, we can be a blessing to those around us. I recall my mother's instruction to us to be mindful of how we treat others, because we just might be entertaining an angel. Know that we can make a difference in the lives of others. So the words of your mom live on through the book, you know, and that's the great thing about becoming an author. And this show is sponsored by Elite Publications. We encourage you to reach out to them to tell your story and leave a legacy for the next generation. So we mentioned that there are other co-authors in this book, and um, how do you, how did this book, writing this book, impact your life personally, dealing with the co-authors? I'm sure this was different from your first four books. So how did that impact you?
Yes, my first four books were more so about me, you know, my personal experiences in my life. This book includes the life experiences of others, these young ladies, and kudos to them. I mean, they've just been there, and they just they just grabbed hold of it. They believed in it because, um, you know, being a virtuous woman, you know, we hear it all the time around Mother's Day. The preachers preach on being a virtuous woman, Proverbs 31 woman. And so it tends to um, make one believe or to think that you have to be almost perfect, you know, to be a virtuous woman, which is not so. The virtuous woman is not a real woman. The virtuous woman is an image of a woman who seeks to be fulfilled and to live a life purposefully for God, you know, through his image. And so uh, all of those traits, those things about being virtuous, you know, diligent, respectful, with knowledge, wisdom, you know, um, being the one who takes care of the home front, you know, the community. All of those good things, those qualities of a virtuous woman, uh, we may not even, in the goodness of who we desire to be and try to be, purpose to be, we may never fulfill them all. But what we do is we strive daily to do so. And so these ladies, as they shared their stories, they just don't know how their stories impacted me as I read them, because it was almost like I could take a piece from each of the stories and it filled my life. I could go back and check Gwen, examining Gwen's life. And so I pray that that is what it would do for those who read this book.
And I'm sure, because the great thing about it is that you don't just hear of the stories. At the back of every story that's written, you actually have a devotional and a note page to actually help you make notes and ponder and meditate on what you just read. So that's the great thing about it, is that these co-authors are leaving a story and helping each and every reader to live a virtuous and victorious life. So what was the your greatest or most fun part about writing the book with co-authors versus writing alone?
I didn't have to do it all.
Yes.
But it was just an awesome experience for me, because it was interesting in that ladies whom I thought lives were showing that of being a virtuous woman, and I thought that they would put their stories in the book. They would share. They did not. And that was one of the things that sort of like surprised me, you know. But then the Spirit spoke to me and said that, you know, they do not understand that a virtuous woman is a woman who's seeking after God, seeking to walk in the image of God. A virtuous woman, it is a daily walk. It's a daily walk. And it's something that you may not fulfill in this lifetime, but you strive to. And that they see it as that they have to be perfect and that others will look at them. And that's a fear of a lot of us, even for telling our story, whatsoever it is, that we fear that someone knows something about our past and that they are going to hold it against us, you know? So you got to let go of that stuff.
You have to.
Because, you know, when God comes in, what do we say? We're redeemed. And you got to let them know, hey, I used to be. but that's not me anymore. And so that was one of the things that impacted me as I took this journey with the ladies and writing this book. And it's just as good as you said that at the end, of each story, you're able to like sit down and really meditate and share with yourself how that person's story reflects some of what you may have gone through.
Absolutely.
And where you focus from there.
Absolutely. One of my favorite parts is that you get to write and reflect after each chapter. But another favorite part of mine is actually still in the introduction where it's coming from Dr. Gwen, and it's just a self-examination. And she puts about 10 just questions there to help you do an 8 questions there to do a self-evaluation before you even get in the book. And I'm just going to read 2 of those questions because I want you to get the book and actually read them for yourself. But one question is, are you trustworthy? Can you be trusted with big and little things? Are you dependable, and do you have integrity? And those things are important in making a virtuous woman.
Exactly.
If you're not trustworthy, if nobody can trust what you're saying, if you're a liar, that's not you're not walking in integrity. So another question would be, are you disciplined? Are you diligent in taking care of your responsibilities and business? It is said she holds the distaff in her hand. So take a look at yourself as you are flipping through the pages of this new book that is available now on Amazon. We are so excited to be celebrating this with an interview with Dr. Gwen Bowen, the author, and we have 10 co-authors in the book with her. I am one of them, one of the 10, and it was just a pleasure to write in the book and share a little bit of my story. But we want you to absolutely support. And we also have an in-person book signing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the book signing will be November the 9th at 4 o'clock p.m. here in Greenville, North Carolina at the Hilton Hotel. We're so excited because we have Jaleesa Gibbs, who will be our psalmist for the occasion. And we have one of the writers who's coming in from California. It's just, we're excited. I can't wait. I'm just so excited about it all, and I look forward to seeing you there. Now you can get up and you can watch Pastor at 6:30 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, 4 o'clock p.m. on a Saturday. I expect to see you in the house. Come on, somebody. And those of you who say you love Pastor, yeah, I expect to see you in the Hilton on Saturday, November the 9th at 4 o'clock p.m.
I don't know. I felt kind of challenged there. That was a little bit of a challenge. So we welcome you to absolutely come. Hilton Hotel, Greenville, North Carolina, 4 p.m. Join Dr. Gwen. The other co-authors will be there. Pick up your book as well and come get it signed by all of, yes. We can also pick up a book at the book signing, have it signed by all of the co-authors. And we definitely want to just shout them out even now. So let's start with the forward. And before we even say her name, I'm going to ask Dr. Gwen to share just a little bit of how you even chose her to write the forward. So we have Reverend Mary E. Higgs, who wrote the forward, and share a little bit about your process in choosing the person and what qualified her to write the forward for this book.
Reverend Mary Higgs is originally from the Talbar area where I grew up. And her sister, Pastor Shirley Hill, lives in Talbot and has a church there now. They have always stood out to me as virtuous women, They carried themselves in such a dignified manner, Christian manner. And they were always sharing a word with you when they saw you, to inspire you to move forward. And so when I was about to write the book that same morning, Reverend Mary Higgs sent me a text that morning of encouragement. And I said, God, are you really speaking to me like this? He said, why not? And so I immediately got in touch with her. And she would say, oh, yes, I will. I'm so excited. She was excited about it. And I just said, Lord, I thank you, Okay. And so, yes, Reverend Mary Higgs, thank you so, so very much. And when you get the book, you will see why God led me to get her to do the foreword for the book.
That's awesome. And in addition to her, we have co-authors, Reverend Gladys Smith, Dr. Marsha D. Williams, Pastor Gwendolyn Bowen, Jessica Carolyn, Evangelist Annie Howard, Dr. Sophanie Lamore, Annie Watts, Jesuetta Williams, Heidi Castro, Danielle Shepard, Dr. Mildred Somerville is also in the book. And that will be a total of 11 stories that you will read in this book, Living the Life of a Virtuous Woman When God Speaks. It is a book that has over 150 pages. This is a nice sized book. It won't take you 3 years to read. It's a nice, good, easy read. So we encourage you to get the Kindle. That is 99 cents. The link is scrolling across the bottom of your screen, or you can click on it. It's in the caption for this interview. We encourage you to get a copy of this book and also come to the book signing. And before we go, we just want to ask Dr. Gwen one more question, if you have time.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what is the takeaway from those who read the book? What do you want them to gather from reading?
Upon reading this book, I pray that all of those who read this book will receive greater knowledge and instruction for moving forward in life, being the woman that God has called and ordained you to be. We each have a purpose, and I pray that as you read this book, if you do not know your purpose, that through the writings, the stories, through self-examination, you will find your purpose, just who God would have you to be during this season.
So go ahead and find your purpose, and within the pages of this book, Living the Life of a Virtuous Woman When God Speaks. It is on sale on Amazon right now, the Kindle copy. Support the book by purchasing your copy for just 99 cents today. And then get the physical book at the book signing on November 9th in Greenville, North Carolina at the Hilton Hotel. Remember that everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. Elite Publications sponsored this episode, and we hope that you will go to their website, www.elitepublications.org, and share your story. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, and we hope that you enjoy the new release. Thank you.